welcome to 2 Gig Tech Talks. I'm Jerome,
And I'm Scott.
and today we're going to be talking about placement of the SMKT8. One big thing we're going to talk about, and to make sure everybody knows, is the best placement for the device and making sure we're placing it in the correct spot. Because if we don't, it's not going to go off, or it's going to take longer than normal to go off. So first things first is Scott. Um, what do you think the best placement for this device would be?
So there's going to be directions that you need to understand. You got to understand that one, you're going to want it in areas in the hallway, areas that are going upstairs from area. You're going to want these in the bedrooms. You're not going to want them in voids where the air is not going to be moving around and actually get the smoke. So there's a lot of this that goes into for the people that are getting their fire license and understand those type of things. And minimum, I generally recommend that you either have someone who has that licensing that is helping you with where to put these, or that you're at least having someone who has the fire license to sign off on the proper placement and proper operation of this type of thing. This is serious stuff here. So
No, absolutely. Normally, what I hear in most situations is at least one in every a bedroom, right? And then a main one in the hallway. But keeping in mind that the smoke detector is rated for like a 70-foot open air area. So if you
700.
no 70
Oh, okay.
70 square feet, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, in the distance there, you get it's rated that the distance wirelessly wise will go 700 feet open air line of sight. We all know what that
Okay.
means. It's about 300 if you're doing a standard home, but the volume of air to smoke detector size is about 70 feet.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I get it.
in that volume. So you have to keep in mind that if you're in a big open area, it's going to take a couple more smoke detectors to really cover that area. Um, and then, of course, you
Okay.
don't want to put them in kitchens, right? Please don't put them in kitchens. Even though this one's rated for a little bit of different type of smoke detection, um, you still want to make sure that the you're prepared for
Right.
that area,
I
that
think the
house.
recommendation is no closer than nothing within 50 feet of any cooking appliances, something like that, really, if I recall. But absolutely, yeah. So yeah, you gotta really know what you're doing with these type of things. You gotta understand where you're putting them. You're placing them properly. That you're placing enough of them in the round, because you got all those different types of ceilings. Maybe if you have a vaulted ceiling, etc., where are you gonna put them? Um, maybe anything like that. You really gotta understand.
No, absolutely. And then on top of that, if you have vaulted ceilings, you want to make sure that when you're placing that smoke detector, the first 4 inches of that ceiling, you're going to want to make sure it's below that, and it's about a foot distance from the top of that vaulted ceiling, right? Where you can get that all that smoke's going to go up to the top, um,
Mhm.
up front, and then that first 4 inches is going to fill up pretty quickly, and then after that is really where we're looking for that distance, just in
Yeah,
case there
that you
wasn't.
get the Yeah, because you have dead air up there,
Yeah,
really, and it's not moving around really up, those type of things.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think, unless Scott's got something else to talk about, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good, really. You just make sure that you got it placed properly and make sure you're doing the proper testing and all that kind of thing as well afterwards. Um,
One last thing, actually. I just
oh, okay.
remembered it's something we should always do. When you are done doing all your installs of all your sensors and your smoke detector, you always want to test it. And at the very tip of this um, smoke detector here, there's a big round knob that's on the very top of it. Right? If you look right down here, you'll see that knob at the very top. That is actually the test knob. So if you press and hold that down for about 3 seconds, you're going to hear a pattern of 3 beeps, and it will test to make sure it's functioning. If you have the ability to get a can of smoke, please make sure you get a can of smoke, put it in a box, smoke the box out, and see if your smoke detector is going off. That's the best way to test it in the most realistic way. Well, make sure you please test your smoke detectors before you do anything. And then they should be cleaned about once a year. You can use a can of air to blow out the surfaces in there to get that cleaned out. Just make sure you're not doing it upside down where you're freezing the whole insides of that smoke detector. Just make sure you give them a little bit of can of air, blow it out, and you'll be good to go at that point.
All right.
Absolutely. And I think that's all we have for today. So we talked about the smoke detector, where to mount it, making sure you're testing it before you leave, and then of course cleaning it at least once a year is the recommended process. And I think that's all we have for today. My name's Jerome,
I'm Scott.
and you guys have a great rest of your day. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel to learn more about 2 Gigs Contacts.